This video is going to be on how to do comparables for townhouses. Townhouses are going to be a little bit different than single family homes because you are going to want to compare just a smaller area. So for this one, well, I've already logged into Matrix. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look up the complex that we are doing a comparable in. So it's 1600 Culver. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this, as you can see, 1600 Culver, I'm just going to click on the MLS. This is in East H, as you can see up here. Okay, so now I'm going to go to search. I'm going to go to residential. Over here on the left, I'm going to click active, which is already clicked. I'm going to click conditionally sold, and I'm going to click sold. Now, it's going to give you 0 to 180. Because the market has been so crazy, I like to do 0 to 90, okay? Because what I tell my clients is 6 months ago, the information doesn't matter. It's not very relevant to what's going on today. Because, for example, a condo on Culver may have been selling for 180 6 months ago, and now they're selling for 230. So there's a huge spread, okay? So what we're going to do here, I'm going to go to condo. I'm going to go to for sale. Okay, I'm going to leave the detached and all that stuff because we're just going for condos. If you look up here, where City of London is already clicked, we're going to go east for district, and we're going to go down to East H. In a single family, I will explain a little more because we want to go in a little more detail. But as you can see, there's already 32 matches. So I want to narrow the price down a little bit. The rest of this stuff you can play with if you're looking for a freehold with a 2-story or a side split or whatever. You can narrow your search down, but for me, I'm just doing condos for this, so I'm not going to do any of that stuff. So for price, I'm going to go 180 to 275. Okay, because I know that there's not going to be a condo that is sold for more than 275. Okay, so again, I've clicked active, I've clicked conditional, I've clicked sold for 0 to 90 days for sale, condo in East Subdistrict H between 180 and 275. You do not add the zeros. As you can see in brackets, they've already put the zeros. Okay, so you look here and I have 21 matches. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Now, this paints a picture because this is for Culver. So Culver, second, third, they're all very, very close. So, I mean, you can see, like, we have literally all first, second, third, Culver. We're comparing apples to apples when I talk to the seller, okay? So as you can see, these are the prices. So we have 200 all the way up to, I believe it's 260. Yeah, sorry about that. So we have all the way up to 260. So the first thing I'm going to do when preparing a CMA, which is comparative market analysis, I'm going to check all of them. Okay, I'm going to go to CMA. You can put the seller contact name. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to go to pages. Now, this you want to make your own, okay? There's no wrong answer. Just make sure that whatever it is that you are going to put in your CMA, you know what you're talking about. So for me, I just do comparables and I do the map, okay? Subject property, I'm not going to do that myself. Comparables, again, I'm going to click them all. And really, that's it. You hit finish. It's a very quick and easy process. You hit view CMA. That's it. I now have a 16-page CMA. So now I'm going to explain the CMA to you when I'm at the home. And I will also say this as well. You saw that there were 21 different matches. I would take a minute or two to look over each and every one, see what has a finished basement, look at the pictures, see if it's had a brand new kitchen, or if a rundown kitchen, if it's baseboard, or if it's furnace, because all those things do make a difference, and you know more of what you're talking about when you have the information with you. You look professional, you look smarter. People trust you when you're confident in your answers, and you're confident in your answers by studying the information. Okay? So always look at each and every comparable for at least a minute or two. Like I said, go over pictures, just look at the main stuff. What was the list price? What was the sold price? What kind of finishes did they have? Okay? So now I'm going to pretend that I'm in front of a seller, and I'm going to say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here's my CMA. As you can see, I looked at houses that had sold between 180 and 275. They were listed between 174.9 and 244.888. The sale price is nothing was less than 200,000, and we went all the way up to 260. These were 2 to 4 bedrooms, 1 to 2 baths. Okay? These are the number of days on the market. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I think you can agree with me that pricing it properly really makes a big difference, because some of them were on the market for almost 5 weeks, some were a month, and some are 5 days. So we want to make sure that you're getting the maximum amount of money in the shortest amount of time. So pricing makes a huge difference. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is a price graph. So the blue is the list price and the red is the sold price. So as you can see, most of these went over ask, or they went for asking. Okay, so that's a really great sign for your area. You can expect to get over asking, again, if it is priced properly. Here are all of the units that have been sold. There's one that is listed right now. It is listed at $239,900, and then as you can see, here are all of the units that have sold. It has a value of what they sold for, how many bedrooms. As you can see, most of them are 3. There are 3 4-bedrooms, and then 2 or 3 bathrooms. Down here you can see the median was 225, the low was 200, high was 260, and over here you see the average was 230. Now here is a quick write-up and a picture of the units themselves, what they were listed for and what they sold for. So this is the only active property. It's listed at $239,900, listed for $199,900, sold for $200,000, $199,000, $205,000, so on and so forth. Okay, so the reason why you're going to do these is it just shows the remarks. Okay, so it kind of gives them a little feel. And you always say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I am going to leave this with you so that you are able to review it on your own time as well. Again, these are just showing. So listed at $249,900, sold for $220,000. $219,900, sold for $220,000. So the lower we list it, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is the better it's going to be. We are going to get you a better number. Take a look at the evidence. $199,900, sold for $225,000. $189,900, sold for $225,000. And if you notice up here, the one was listed at $224,900 and sold for $220,000. So the lower we price it, the higher you're going to get in this market. Okay? So here's all the 21 active or sold. Now, I always make a joke with them. You know what, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? This right here are just some fancy charts that make me look smarter than I am. Same thing here. There's a summary. So my pricing recommendation, you have right here the average, the high, the median, the low. So I would suggest that you list at blah, blah, blah. My final page is the area. So again, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, because we are selling a townhouse on 1600 Culver, here is the evidence, not the made up facts. Here's the true evidence that shows this is why I have come up with the number I've come up with. This is literally a 4-block radius that is just townhouses, so we are comparing apples to apples. I know you might think that your home is worth $1 million, but all the other homes have only sold for $200,000 to $260,000. So let's make sure we are being very reasonable in our pricing. I hope this helps, and good luck when you're on your listing appointments.